61 to 35 there. You go back here, 73-26. That's where this has to end up for Hillary Clinton to win the state of Michigan. Can it? What the Clinton War Room says, and I just checked with a labor activist I know out here just to be sure that we're not getting spun too much, and he said he generally agrees that most of this vote is from the outer parts of Wayne County. You're in the more suburban parts out away, and that we have not gotten the large pocket of votes that we will get from Detroit. So everyone says that's the case. If that's the case, there's a lot of math to be done when these votes come in, if they turned out. If. It's a big if. So when you start doing the math, is it possible? We're only at 40% of the state vote, 39% statewide. And she is down, you know, she just pulled a little bit closer there. Is that
about 60,000 votes?
60,000 votes. So are there 60,000 votes in Detroit alone? Are there 60,000 votes in Detroit alone? Of course there are. And so we have a ways to go. It is stunning that we're having this conversation based on how we thought this campaign was going to go. And it could be equally stunning if you're sitting in the Trump campaign or the Clinton campaign headquarters. You're looking at these two long, deep blue states. Red right now. It is possible they could both turn as we count the votes. Remember what happened in Virginia. Donald Trump led it all night long. He led, and then the Democratic areas came in and it flipped. Is that possible in these states? Yes, it is. Guess what? That will decide the presidency, whether that happens or not. Because if you look at the way this map is filling in right now, yes, Florida's very close, but Trump's lead, pretty healthy. You go down here and look at it. In Florida, the way
130,000.
Right, the way we've gotten used to Florida, the closest state in 2012, 50-49. When you're looking at 2 points, or that's a little less than 2 points, I guess. But that's normal for Florida, and most people on the ground here, they're checking everywhere. Trust me, they're checking everywhere. But even Republicans who don't like Trump in Florida think he's got this one. We'll see how it goes as we go forward. Let's check on North Carolina. That's a 3+ point lead there, 4-point lead. It's 4-point lead. As we're at 90%, so you're starting to look, where are these votes? That's not good news for the Clinton campaign. When you look at North Carolina, 100% is in here. 77% here, but it's a much smaller piece of the population. But there are some Democratic votes still out there. Let's come over here. There are Democratic votes out here. If they're in here, the central city part, where you're predominantly, she's winning this by a lopsided margin anyway. There are parts of this county where she's probably winning at 70% plus. If they're out there, is it possible? So that's a lot of math to make up. If you look at the margin so far, at 87%, her margin is 130,000 votes. You're not going to get, you only got 13% to go. So you're not going to get that many there. So you're looking at this and you're thinking, again, we're not ready to call this state by any means. We're going to be counting for a long time. But if you're the Trump campaign headquarters, you're thinking, we think we got Florida. We think we got North Carolina. We know we have Ohio. This is what you're going to look at right here. If Clinton can turn them back, and I'm going to keep checking to see if the vote count goes up to 44% in Michigan, you still see this lead. We're going to wait for this a while. And again, we could be counting votes in California, Wolf, when this comes in. This is how it goes sometimes. We're going to wait on this. We're only at 39%, but 39% is significant.
In Wayne County.
Yeah, in the sense that, are they here? If they're in here,
18% of the state.
18% of the state. That's what I'm saying. So if the votes that we have are from out here, it's less Democratic. I don't want to call it Republican. It's less Democratic. But you see this here. So we're going to wait on this. And again, the Clinton campaign says they're not panicking. Trust me, they're concerned. They say they're not panicking because they're told that's where the votes are. I checked in with a labor activist who says they're generally right, although he's a little skeptical. There are enough of them. We'll see how that plays out. I just want to peek at this, and then I want to go up. Wolf will come back to me in a second. We ought to go to you for projection.
We have another major projection right now. CNN can now project that the state of Colorado will go to Hillary Clinton with its 9 electoral votes. Hillary Clinton wins Colorado. She's ahead in the popular vote right now. You see 67% of the vote in. She's winning by more than 86,000 votes. 9 electoral votes in Colorado. Another important win for Hillary Clinton. She needs all of these wins right now. Let's take a look at the electoral college map. Donald Trump has 167 electoral votes compared to Hillary Clinton's 131 electoral votes. Remember, you need 270 to win the White House. I keep saying that, but that's the magic number, 270. Another important win for Hillary Clinton in Colorado. Let's go back to John and talk about New Hampshire right now. More than half of the vote, John, in New Hampshire is now in. 54% of the vote in. You see Donald Trump with this lead, 3-point lead, just switched up 54. We're still at 3, just a little slight change in the math there. So what's that, 11,000 votes right in that ballpark there? So Trump is in the lead. He's got a lead here. Are there any encouraging signs outstanding for Hillary Clinton in New Hampshire?
I wouldn't call anything encouraging for Hillary Clinton at the moment, to be honest with you, my friend. But yes, are there places when you look at New Hampshire that tells you this was a Republican county 4 years ago, but this is where I meant to tap Nashua City. Nashua City is just shy of 7% of the population. This is a Democratic area if she wins it. We've seen Donald Trump flipping some areas tonight. This, if you go back in time to 2012, 56 to 42, 6% of the state population. So if you look at what the margin is right now, there are enough votes even just right here if she performs. That's been the question, and we've gone state by state to see, is she performing in these Democratic areas? That's one of them. I want to come over here to the seacoast. Sorry, I touched Maine. When you get right out here to the edge, you stretch it out a little bit and make it easier for me. Portsmouth, another area here, just shy of 2% of the state population, an overwhelmingly Democratic area. We have no votes counted here yet. So let me just keep it on 2016 so I don't make a mistake. And so you come back. Are there places? Yes. Our friend Mr. Tapper can tell us about Hanover, New Hampshire. There's a famous university there. Just 1% of the state population, overwhelmingly Democratic area. So we've got a lot of counting to do still in the state of New Hampshire. But at 50, we're at 54% of the count. It's a 3-point race right now. The challenge is quite simple. In these Democratic areas, Portsmouth, Nashua, smaller population up in Hanover. I just want to see what's happening here. She's at 6 points now. We're at 92% in Manchester. So this is 8% of the state population here. 50% for Secretary Clinton. This is an issue we're seeing consistently. Donald Trump's appeal to blue-collar voters in gritty Manchester, New Hampshire, 55, 44, 11 points for the president 4 years ago, 6 points for Secretary Clinton right now. That's what gets you the tighter race. You move into the traditionally Democratic areas. You go back to 2008. Remember, we thought Obama was going to win the New Hampshire primary? This is where she pulled it out, right here in Manchester. At the last minute, her team, her organization pulled it out in Manchester. They know this state very well, and they're not doing what they need to do in Manchester City right now. There's still room for her to come back. Don't get me wrong. A 3-point race. There's a lot of Democratic areas. Just look at what's left on the map. If you see it, it's kind of scattershot. It's hard to follow. It kind of looks like a tablecloth in a diner, if you will. But you see a lot of blue. See all this blue down here? This is 2012. You see all the blue down here in the corner. We don't have those votes yet.
So she might still be able to overcome that 12,000 vote or so disadvantage she has.
Yes, she can, and we'll know. We will know when we see results come in from Nashua and Portsmouth. These are smaller communities. You're going to get 50 votes in this town, 100 or 200 in the next town. And Donald Trump. There's a lot of Donald Trump territory still here to fill in the map. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot. If you want to go back, there's a lot of red still to be filled in. From 4 years ago. So there's more votes for Trump. But the big population centers that we don't have yet are Nashua and Portsmouth, big relative in the context of New Hampshire. But there's room. No question there's room. Sorry, I hit the wrong button there. There's room for her to come back without a doubt.
Let's go to Pennsylvania right now. She's ahead in Pennsylvania. Take a look. She's ahead by only, less than 100,000 votes in Pennsylvania with 66% of the vote counted.
The way the rest of this night is going, she's happy, Wolf. In the sense that, it's odd in the sense that we thought, if we were talking about this, and our good friend Jeffrey Lord is from Pennsylvania, consistently we have thought that this would be the test. This is where the Trump campaign told us would be the big test. We're not done. We're not done here, but this one has been blue. She has led consistently throughout the night. So you look at where we're talking about here, and this is, so she has to come out of Philadelphia County with about 400,000. She'd prefer 400,000.
She's got 400,000.
She'd prefer 440,000, 450,000.
He's ahead by 418,000
That's the cushion you want. So you can win Pennsylvania with that in a presidential election. That's almost the minimum. I hate, it looks so lopsided, but that's almost the minimum. She's at 82%. You come back here again. You go back 4 years ago, 85%. And so I just want to see it's at below 1%. So so there's not much of a drain from the third-party candidates there at all. That's okay. She would like that to be stronger. The question is, how's she doing out here in the suburbs? And when you match this up right now, this one looks, if you're a Democrat, this one looks right.
Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it looks right. If you look, 57% in Montgomery County, 57% in Montgomery County. The president was 50-49 in Bucks County. Hillary Clinton, the third-party candidate's drawn a little bit there. It's a one-point race. That's consistent. It's a one-point race there. Let's move over here and look. Chester County, she's winning this. Actually, this is significant. If she holds this, it's only 32% of the vote. This is where Melania Trump went to give her speech. Berwyn, Pennsylvania is here. It used to be Republican. It's trending Democratic. Mitt Romney won it just barely 4 years ago. So when you look at Pennsylvania, if there's a place they are reasonably optimistic about in the Clinton campaign headquarters, it's Pennsylvania. But we're only up to 67% of the vote. So you start looking out here, again, in the central part of the state is going to be for Trump. But that's 50 to 44. He's holding her own in a place like that. But we're at 100% here. We're at 94% here. I'm trying to see if there are places out here where we know there, even if it's hundreds at a time, if there are a lot more votes for Trump to make up. And you see, well, there's some small ones, but it's tiny here. You're looking at the votes.
You can screen it to show us.
Oh my God.
That's still out there. We have this new feature.
You cut, oops, bring it back. I just touched. She gets a little touch happy at this time of night. Let's see if we can get the percentage. Here we go. So we just come over to, let's just use 75.
Vàng này đúng là xe nó đông.
So you're looking at the places where we're still under 75% of the vote counted. So you come in here, you're at 59%.
Mới vào được có mấy phút mà đánh lên được 7.000 điểm mà. 10 phút. Chung là rất là khá rồi đó anh em.
Clinton winning, so more votes for her, but not a lot because that one is counted. So you're looking at the what
chạy đi đâu?
calculation at home or the war is look at what's left, and you see a lot of blue areas here that are left, and these are more populated. These areas are more populated than these areas. So if you're looking at this, you would think your hunch off the top is there are more Democratic votes out there than Republican votes because these are bigger population centers than the Republican areas. So if you're in the Clinton campaign headquarters, you're reasonably happy with the Pennsylvania map, although at this point of the night, given what's happening in Michigan and Wisconsin, you're nervous about everything. But that one makes you feel a little bit better when you look at
Đúng
that.
rồi, võ lâm miễn phí như Hải đăng phạm.
46%.
Võ lâm miễn phí, phiên bản Vinagame. VNG.
We're up to 50% in Wayne County. This is going to decide the state.
Let's screen Michigan right now and see where the outstanding vote is.
Let's bring it up.
Where there's less than 75% so far.
Bỏ gì phải vô cái app á.
75%. And so there's a
Trump
lot.
is up by 53,000 in the state.
Up by moment, they're
I want to
Republican.
remind our viewers that we're getting ready for the top of the hour. Polls are closing in 5 states, including California, Oregon, Washington State, Hawaii, and Idaho. We'll see if we can make some projections.
Let's quickly look at western Wisconsin here. I just want you to look here. This is what we're waiting for. These are counties in Wisconsin where less than 75% of the vote has been counted, right? So we're waiting up there. This is now. That's 4 years ago. That's blue. That's all blue 4 years ago. That's red right now. And so if that stays that
Hello
way,
anh em, thì
that
còn
is
khoảng
the
1 phút nữa là
redefining,
kết
at
thúc
least for
rồi.
one election cycle, of
Này
the American electoral map as we know it.
Like rất là trễ nhưng mà cũng đánh lên được top 3 tại vì vào có khoảng 12 phút rồi.
They tell you, and let's see, Milwaukee's over 75% now, so I just want to come back to the full count and see, because they have been telling us they can get votes out of here. It's at 84%. Again, if it's Center City, Milwaukee, it could be overwhelming. Is it enough to make it up? You see what she's doing in Milwaukee
Nếu mà
County?
có hạt
That is
kiếm thì sẽ
overwhelming.
chơi cho anh em.
So we'll see what happens here. The Clinton campaign says they can make it up here. When you're at 84%, that's when you start to get a little bit skeptical that the math is there. The other place the Clinton campaign tells us they can make this up is the all-important Dane County. 9% of the state population, Madison, University of Wisconsin. This is a liberal Democratic base area of the state. As you can see, she's winning 65 or 66, 68, excuse me, rounding up, not down, 68 to 27. So half of the vote left. Is it possible? You see the gap. If she can double that, there are a lot of votes to be made up.
Trận đấu kết thúc.
Enough to counter that.
Thắng nghiêng về
She's
bên
running out of
Kim.
options. It has to come from here, it has to come from there, and then a small
Này
smattering
cũng được
because
top
there's
3,
still some
đánh được
votes
16
for
phút.
Donald Trump to make up in these rural areas. Tug of war, Wisconsin, tug of war, Michigan. We knew Florida and North Carolina would be tug of wars. This is most unexpected.
Certainly is a huge surprise to so many people out there. All right, within the next few seconds, polls will close in 5 western states, including California, with this whopping 55 electoral votes in California. We're getting ready to make some major projections. Let's get ready for that right now.
Giờ với là miễn phí thì nạp tiền khoảng mấy trăm ngàn một tháng thôi nếu mà mình chịu là online và mình chịu liền cây. Hello chuyên vũ.
With its 4 electoral votes, another win for Donald Trump in Idaho. All right, let's take a look at the electoral college map
Nào
now.
mà lên thường canh này.
Oregon and Washington State, by the way, too early to call in those states. Oregon and Washington State, you see it right now. Now let's take a look at the electoral college map. Hillary Clinton has now gone ahead. She has now gone ahead with the huge win in California.
Hillary Clinton bây giờ là được 190 phiếu, Trump 171. Ai mà lên 270 thì sẽ win nhá nè. Win.
Are they breathing a little bit easier over there at Clinton headquarters?
I don't think so, to be completely honest, because at some point in this night, as we watch the returns come in from states such as Wisconsin and Michigan, the Clinton headquarters was very confident that they had. That was their firewall. Remember, Wisconsin wasn't even part of the conversation. It was Michigan, it was Pennsylvania and Virginia and New Hampshire. When these returns come in, you see, okay, they have Virginia, but Pennsylvania is still up in the air. New Hampshire seems to be leaning towards Trump, and Michigan seems to be leaning towards Trump. No, I don't think so at all. You know, we've been talking now for 6 months about what is Donald Trump's path to the presidency. At some point, we're going to approach the period where it's a question of, does she have a path to the presidency? If she can't win Pennsylvania, New Hampshire, and Michigan, much less Wisconsin, Brooklyn, we have a problem.
Yeah, she's got to win those states, Dana.
Well, on that note, I'm just looking at a note from a Clinton aide saying that they are breathing a slight sigh of relief because of Colorado and Virginia. They do have to hold the upper Midwest, Wisconsin and Michigan, which, as you said, who knew, particularly Wisconsin, it was going to be this tight.
The Republicans didn't even think they were going to win.
Không để ý nó cho một cá một về nhà luôn.
Donald Trump has been going there, much to the chagrin of others. And one more thing I just want to say that as
VIP
far
hạng
as
Nhật server 02 thì không thể nào biết được nha anh em. Cái đó rất là không thể nào mà biết được.
This is something that I think is quite poignant at this hour. 2 hours ago at 8:55 p.m. Eastern, the Clinton team tweeted this out. It says, "This team has so much to be proud of. Whatever happens tonight, thank you for everything." And this picture of Hillary Clinton embracing
thì đánh có thắng có thua mà chứ đâu phải lúc nào cũng thắng là VIP nhất đâu. Có thắng có thua.
A picture that says, "I did it for you." If she doesn't, it's a picture that says, "I'm so sorry I tried." And it's so poignant that they sent this out 2 hours ago, and it can be read two very different ways.
One of the things we saw in the exit polls was that women were not voting for Hillary Clinton in the numbers that polls suggested they would. She was not getting the gender gap that so many anticipated. But let's talk about the response of world markets, because those are some other individuals who are having trouble breathing right now. Right now, you see the world markets in Tokyo, Shanghai, Hong Kong are down. And the last I saw, it was more than 600 points. The Dow futures were down. Again, because of the instability of the American election. Everyone thought, based on pollsters and prognosticators, that they knew how this was going to end up. And B, because of Donald Trump himself, who is a wild card and has been talking tough on trade. There's a reason why Wall Street supported Hillary Clinton much more strongly than they supported Donald Trump. And we're going to see he's talking about renegotiating trade deals with China, with
mình sẽ đánh phong Ấn Độ này, mình sẽ nghỉ sớm, tại hôm nay hơi bị đi làm về hơi bị mệt nha anh em. Vì hôm nay hơi bị mệt và cũng đi làm bầu cử thì bye bye. Có thể nếu mà khỏe thì sẽ online nha anh em. Thank you.